Hello, it's me, Mike Lynn. Today we're talking about something that most buyers overlook until it's too late, and it's what it's like to live on a busy street. Now, some roads in Port Union are obviously high traffic, but others you may not realize, and they just sneak up on you one day, just, wow, this is a busy street. I might know a thing or two firsthand about living on a busy street, so I'll walk you through the major streets and the ones that are deceptively busy and the real pros and cons of living on them, so let's jump into it. Here's what we're going to look at today with this video, the busy streets in West Rouge and Centennial. We're going to look at the major arterial roads in Port Union, which is West Rouge and Centennial. I'm going to show you the roads that you may not realize are busy, or they may be obvious to you, but just in case, I'm going to show you anyways. Disadvantages of living on a busy street, but don't worry because there are some advantages of living on a busy street as well. Let's get into it. Yes, I made this myself in Microsoft Paint, so let's see how well I did. All right, so the first really busy street, the obvious one, is Lawrence Avenue. I guess I wouldn't say it's obvious because it depends on how you get into the neighborhood. After that, we have Port Union Road. Then we have East Avenue, followed by Island Road to get to both of those streets. And we look at Lawson Road, Centennial Road, and to wrap up the roads, Meadowvale Road. Now, those would be the obvious choices for the busiest streets in the neighborhood, but I didn't want to use the obvious choice because I'm not Captain Obvious. So I want to show you the streets that I find are very busy with traffic, busier than you may expect. The first one is Conference Boulevard. Is very much a cut-through street for people traveling on Port Union to get to Centennial, or from the people that live around Centennial to get over to Port Union to get up to the 401. So it is a busy cut-through street, and there are a lot of young children in this area because of the schools. So I mentioned schools, which will bring us to the next busy street, which is Charlottetown Boulevard. It is heavily trafficked just because of parents coming in and out to pick up their kids at Charlottetown Junior Public School, but also the south end of it on Lawrence is Sir Oliver Mowat, which my twins go to. And again, there's a lot of cars turning in and out of that street. Plus, it is a cut-through street from Lawrence to get up into the streets off of Conference. Fanfare Avenue, it does act as a cut-through street between Port Union and East Avenue, so it is fairly trafficked. People head down in here to go to Metro and to Shoppers and maybe do their banking, and they are cutting through to get back up towards East and any of the streets that are off of East. And then speaking of bridging streets or cut-through streets, Blue Anchor Trail. This one can get busy at rush hour when people are too frustrated to be turning onto Island Road because of the backup, because of the construction that's been going on forever. So they may head a little bit further south and then use Blue Anchor Trail to cut through to try and get over into or onto East Avenue, which is unfortunate because it doesn't really save that much time. And sticking up there, we have Rouge Highlands Drive. I'm guilty of this because when I'm traveling from Fanfare after going to Shoppers or Metro, I will use it to cut up and get onto Kirkdean up here. I just don't like making the left-hand turn at the top of the hill on Fanfare, turning east or turning north onto East Avenue. I just don't like it, so I prefer to go through Rouge Highlands Drive. South of Lawrence into Port Union Village, we have two busy streets that I'll mention together. That is Bridgeport Drive, which feeds many streets in that neighborhood, and Bridge End, a cut-through street from Port Union Road. So people will take Port Union south of Lawrence and cut across Bridge End into the area. And like I said, Bridgeport Drive does feed most of the streets into that neighborhood. Now we'll get over into closer to where I live, Star Spray Boulevard. This is the main feeder street for anybody that travels past East and past the Rouge Hill Go. They travel along Lawrence here and then to Star Spray. That is the main arterial road into this neighborhood. So it is quite heavily trafficked, but it does die off a little bit on the bend as not as many people go through, which brings to the next busy street, which is the street that I live on. It's Friendship Avenue, and yes, it is quite a heavily trafficked road because anybody that is coming in from the 401 is Island and they're on to East, and now this technically is Kirkdean. I mean, Friendship is up here. It's so weird. It must be the old neighborhood. But yeah, so people are traveling in Kirkdean and then onto Friendship Avenue, and there are a lot of streets that feed off of Friendship Avenue, so it is busy. Let's have a look at some of the drawbacks of living on a busy street. In no particular order, but this one is a big one. Vehicle, traffic, and speeding. And speeding has been the topic of conversation in the Facebook group lately. It can be a safety concern, especially for families with young children or pets that aren't necessarily outdoor pets that bolt outside at the first sign of an open door. Yes, it can be very concerning. Dust and dirt buildup, constant traffic kicks up grime, leading to dirtier windows. Your front door can get dirty, and porches and walkways will need to be swept a lot. We've got noise pollution. The constant vehicle noise can disrupt your sleep. I find that happens to me. Conversation get muffled out if you're in the living room, and just time spent outdoors. Reduced privacy, higher visibility from foot and vehicle traffic can make the front of the home feel a bit exposed. Getting in and out of your driveway can be kind of difficult. You can also find that there's less available street parking. Trickier to back out of your driveway if it's a highly trafficked street, and especially if it's one of those streets that's very busy during the rush hours. And then rounding up, we have lower property values. Homes on the high traffic roads tend to be priced a little bit lower, or maybe a lot lower, depends on the street, just compared to a similar house on a quieter side street. There are advantages living on a busy street, and let's look at those. We ended with the value of a house on a busy street, but it can be a lower cost of entry depending on the neighborhood that you want to get into, because homes on busier streets, like I said, they tend to be more affordable. If you look at it in a positive spin, more affordable within a neighborhood just compared to a similar house that's on a quieter street. So it is a way to get into the area, and I'm living proof of that. I live on Friendship Avenue. It's one of the streets that I mentioned is a busy one, and it was a way for my family and I to get into the neighborhood that we wanted, which was West Rouge. It was an opportunity for us. I know it was a busy street, but I didn't want to give up an opportunity to get into this neighborhood, and I'm okay with the traffic. Sometimes it's a bit annoying, especially when I'm trying to back into my driveway and there's somebody riding my tail. It can be annoying, but too bad they're gonna have to wait an extra 4 seconds while I back into my driveway. You tend to get larger backyards. Builders often compensate for the busy front with extra space in the back. And again, I'll use myself as an example. On Friendship Avenue, I have a very big backyard. Helps that I'm on the bend on Friendship, so I have a pie-shaped backyard. I don't know about you, I don't spend a lot of time in the front yard. That's not where I want to hang out and sunbathe, mercifully for you. So I'm always in the backyard. Another thing that I've noticed is the faster snow removal and road maintenance on the major roads. We tend to get priorities, and I say we because I'm on the busy street. They get the priority during the snowstorms and city repairs. Ask anybody on J-Bell how quickly their street gets plowed in the wintertime. I feel bad for them. Sometimes there's an actual wall separating Friendship and J-Bell, and unfortunately that's the way it is. They have to clear out the snow for the major arterial roads first. Homes on busier streets tend to have a better proximity to transit and other amenities. You're looking at things like bus stops, schools, some of the local shops and parks. They just tend to be more walkable on the busier streets. And then there's the development potential, because busy streets may become more valuable over time just due to zoning changes or commercial interests. And it can happen. You do see some smaller homes on corner lots that front onto busier streets get turned into convenience stores or little cafes. It does happen. Now, coming up on the screen, you may see a video posted about Brumwell Avenue. What the heck is going on there? Or you may see one about the for sale by owners in the neighborhood. I'm not sure which one YouTube is going to put up here, but either one may be of interest to you if you liked this video. So I hope you did. Thanks for joining me, and watch these videos because they're good as well. See you later. Bye-bye. Here's what we'll look at today on a for Sir Oliver. I can't even talk. God damn it.